The silence that precedes the return of someone from the past is rarely empty. It is usually filled with a subtle electricity, an intuitive scent that anticipates the movement even before the first message vibrates on the phone. In the field of soulmates, this reconnection does not follow the logic of linear time, but rather cycles of learning that were left open or that now possess the necessary maturity to flourish. You begin to notice patterns that defy coincidence. The person's perfume in an unlikely place, a song that plays on the radio just as you think about an old dilemma, or the persistent feeling of being watched by a familiar energetic presence. These are the invisible knocks on the door of your soul, indicating that this person's frequency has returned to align with yours, whether by their conscious desire or by a mutual evolutionary need that life has decided to orchestrate again, demanding from you a sharpened sensitivity to discern between a melancholy echo and a genuine call from destiny. So that we can dive even deeper into these invisible dynamics and the mysteries that connect hearts, your constant presence here is fundamental, and therefore, I invite you to subscribe to the channel right now. By becoming part of this community, you signal to the algorithm that you are looking for depth and self-knowledge, ensuring that content that truly nourishes the soul and brings spiritual clarity reaches you with priority in a sea of superficial information. Being subscribed is keeping an open channel for reflections that challenge common sense and offer practical tools to navigate your relationships with wisdom, allowing our egregore to grow and continue producing light on topics that are often ignored by rational logic. Your active participation strengthens this search for answers that are not in books, but in the nuances of human and spiritual experience, connecting you to a network of minds that also wish to unravel the golden threads that unite souls throughout their journeys. Often, the attempt to return manifests through the dream plane, where the ego's defenses are low and spiritual communication flows without the barriers of pride or physical distance. Repeatedly dreaming of a soulmate from the past, in scenarios where there is serene dialogue or an exchange of glances charged with meaning, usually points to a bridge being rebuilt in the invisible. It is not just about repressed longing, but an intertwining of auric fields that begin to touch each other again in the ether. This person may be sending intense thoughts in your direction, creating a kind of emotional telepathy that makes their name pop into your mind at the most random moments of the day. It is a form of energetic insistence that precedes physical contact, a spiritual rehearsal, where the other's soul tests the ground to see if there is still resonance, or if the wounds of yesteryear have given way to a scar capable of supporting a new chapter of coexistence. There is an inherent complexity when the universe decides to test your emotional firmness through external coincidences that seem staged by an invisible screenwriter. You encounter mutual friends who, for no apparent reason, mention this person's name, or stumble upon objects and photos that have been lost for years, as if material reality were reorganizing itself to bring the memory of them to the main focus of your consciousness. These signs are not necessarily a command for you to open the door immediately, but an invitation to observe how your body reacts to these stimuli. Is there a tightness in the chest, an electrical anxiety, or a deep peace? The way your energy responds to these re-entry attempts reveals your degree of healing and whether this person's return is an opportunity for definitive closure or for a necessary reconstruction. The outer world merely mirrors the movement that has already begun to happen in the subtle layers of your existence, forcing a confrontation with what you believed you had left behind. The diversity of soulmate experiences teaches us that not every return is a romantic blessing. Sometimes it is a test of sovereignty and boundaries. Someone may be trying to enter your life again, driven by their own energetic vacuum, seeking the light you cultivated in their absence. Identifying this intention requires a clinical look at the quality of the energy arriving. Does it feel heavy, demanding, and nostalgic in a toxic way? Or does it bring a freshness of renewal and personal responsibility? Soulmates in the process of evolution do not return to repeat the same mistakes, but to present an updated version of themselves, capable of honoring the spiritual contract that unites them. If the attempt at reconnection generates in you a desire to hide or a feeling of exhaustion even before the first hello, it is likely that the person is trying to enter through the back door of your emotional field, without having done the internal work of purification that the new cycle would demand. Observing digital movements is also part of this modern reading of spirituality, where likes on old posts or constant views on your content act as territory probes. However, the true spiritual indicator is the change in your personal magnetism, which suddenly seems to attract information about this person from unlikely sources. Perhaps you receive news about an important change in their life that resonates directly with a desire you manifested, indicating that the time apart fulfilled its role of polishing. The re-entry attempt is a phenomenon of emotional gravity. The more authentic you become in your own journey, the more you attract back those who possess fundamental pieces for your evolutionary puzzle. The dilemma arises when the mind tries to label this movement as good or bad, when in fact, it is just a natural flow of energies seeking balance after a period of dispersion and individual growth. The deep reflection on these signs leads us to question whether we are ready to welcome the complexity that a reunion of soulmates requires. It is not about a return to what was, but a leap to what can be. When someone tries to enter your life again, that person is often, unknowingly, responding to a change in your own vibrational frequency. If you have healed the trauma that caused the rupture, the universe may bring the other back to validate this healing, or to offer the chance to practice forgiveness on a cellular level. The beauty of this mystery lies in the uncertainty and the need to trust your internal compass, ignoring the generic advice of those who do not understand the depth of karmic bonds. It is an exercise of patience and observation, where every sign, every dream, and every casual encounter serve as pieces of a map that points to the integration of your shadows and lights through the mirror that the other represents. In light of all these indications, the power of decision remains strictly in your hands, and that is where true spiritual mastery lies. Identifying that someone is trying to come back is only the first step. The fundamental question is to understand if your current life has room for this frequency, or if the door should remain closed out of respect for your progress. Look at the signs not as orders from destiny, but as data for your intuition to process with clarity and detachment. If the universe is stirring the waters of your past now, what is the wound it wants you to finalize, or what is the potential for love that you are finally ready to sustain? Do not wait for a definitive external confirmation that validates your feelings. The truth is already operating in your stomach and in the way your heart beats when their name arises. What are you going to do with this recognition now that the signs have become impossible to ignore?